I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What is fly fishing? It's a philosophy.
Well, lots
you're saying
of people,
a philosophy.
they actually mistake it for a sport. It's fly fishing.
It's more than that, though, isn't it? It's
no.
more. It's more than a hobby.
No, it's
more
not.
Than
it's
a
not
sport.
a hobby. It's not a sport. It's not even a philosophy. It's actually a religion.
It's the way. Would you call it the way, the only way?
No, it's not. I mean, with fly fishing, because it's a religion, but I mean,
It's more than that too, because there's only one way to live. So there's many, many religions, but there's only one right. Okay.
I mean, there's not one way to fly fish. I mean, there's lots of people that have, they have sort of prejudice against, certain ways of fishing. There's some people that only use a dry fly.
I have a question.
We call them DROs, actually. No, DFOs, I mean.
Yeah.
Dry fly only.
Now, if this is the way,
Yep.
and you had to classify the great teachers of the way,
Yep.
and their gospels, kind of like Matthew, Mark, Luke,
Yeah,
John,
we
Paul
have-
to the Gentiles,
We have like the Gospel of Bob and
and Roderick.
the Hague Brown Gospels. And we also there's Chico's letters to Livingston.
I've read them. I have read them. They inspired me.
Yeah, Chico's letters to the Church of Livingston is
And how
to the Yellowstone River.
to paradise, to the Valley of
Oh,
Paradise.
right. Yep.
How to get there.
Yep. But I mean, above all the Gospels, it's probably the most well-known, most well-respected of the Gospels is the Chronicles of Bill Schaadt.
Would you recommend for a new convert to the way? Which gospel would they read first?
Maybe the Gospel of Bob is and it's pretty straightforward, kind of down to earth. More it's not so much into the law of fly fishing.
It's how to make it
right. I mean,
the joy. It's the joy
one part of it,
and the gentleness.
Lots of
and the
people.
love.
One thing, lots of people they ask, when's the best time to fly fish? Kind of like when's the best time, to pray. And
that is a good.
Right. And
I've often thought of that too.
In the Gospel of Bob, he says, anytime. Whenever you can get out on the river, that's the time you should be there. And you go straight to the river.
The way, the river of life.
Right. But I mean, it's not. The Gospel of Bob's not philosophical. It's not religious. It's it's for the everyday man.
It's for broken people too. People with physical ailments.
Right.
If you've been laid up with knee injuries for a while, it's inspiring because he still gets out there somehow.
It's a lot about food.
There's a lot about food in that
and
one.
And coffee too. I mean,
he takes a lot of breaks along the way, and he meets people when he's getting the donuts.
Whenever you see that gas station, you should stop and get a cup of coffee every single time. You really should. And some donuts. The best kind of donut to get.
It's the kind you can dip.
I don't know. The messier, the better, really. The ones with the powdered sugar
I agree.
on them are usually, the kinds that have like the bright red circle that says like $1 or something.
No, that Gospel of Bob's inspired me because if he can enjoy his time even when he's not able to get on the river, he's trapped in a hospital.
Yeah.
When the physical part is taking over the spiritual part, he still finds a way to keep it together. And
Yeah, to just stay on the river,
mentally, even when he's not on the river.
Right.
And I just
It's, the Gospel of Bob is mostly, about, well, fly fishing in general is about rivers.
yes.
Not fly fishermen, sometimes you fly fish on a lake or a pond, but, it's really about...
What would you say to those people who are kind of on the edges of fly fishing? They're
Not quite sure.
well, they haven't
They believe-
converted.
they
They
believe
believe
in
in
it.
fishing and being on the river, but they're using bait. What would you say to them? And spinning rods.
Going back to the Gospel of Bob, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can get to the river. There's more than one way to get to the river. It's and if some people, especially younger people and older people, that can't get around as much or don't know as much, they don't have the technique. Sometimes spinning rod, that's fine.
It's the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's
love.
it's not like going to a church. In a way you have that community, but it's I guess there's no strings attached.
Would you like to show us, demonstrate as a prophet of or a follower of Bob and of the way? Would you be willing to demonstrate for us the way?
The way?
Yes.
I mean, physically or spiritually?
Well, which way would you prefer? I'm not sure the camera can capture
The spiritual.
the power of the spiritual way. You might have to show us the spiritual symbolically through the physical. The symbols
Through the
of the way.
The actual act of casting.
Yes. on this pool of
On the
remembrance.
cross, right.
On the cross. There's the way.
I'm not being just
Let's see you.
I think this would be amazing. Right here
Well,
in Dublin.
At this remember.
Fly rod with me.
Yeah.
A nice hardy reel. Maybe later.
Well, folks, that was it with our talk with the follower of the way. Perhaps in a few moments when she's ready, she may demonstrate for us, those of us new to the way, the physical representation, the symbolic enactment of the spiritual